In the last few months, I've been testing and comparing 20 white noise machines, so I've now reviewed more than 40 in the last decade. Some have real fans inside. Many of them play white, pink or brown noise. Some have nature sounds. And a few are tailored to parents. Now in this video, I'm going to give you my top picks in 10 main categories because I don't think there's one machine which would be ideal for everybody. You can see the chapters here, so if you're not a fan of introductions, you can skip to the one that's most relevant to you. So why use a white noise machine? Well, the main benefit is that they can effectively mask a lot of external noise that might be bothering you and disturbing your sleep, work or study. They can also play calming sounds without needing Bluetooth, Wi-Fi or a smart device. They're very easy to operate and they typically have very low power consumption. The main reason I don't think there's one device which should be right for everybody is because they don't have the same sounds and features. For example, some adults might be embarrassed if someone discovers they have a bedside device that can play Twinkle Twinkle Little Star. And as you can see in this table, not a single one has all of the key features I look out for: a nightlight, auto-off timers, headphone jack and internal battery. And if you pause the video, you can compare the differences in the main sound options in this table. So it is a case of picking one with a combination of both sounds and features that you like. And finally, a word about volume. Now I know a lot of people feel the need for a loud white noise machine, which I can understand. However, it's important to recognise that many of these are capable of volume levels which are probably too high for babies, children or even many adults. I tested their maximum volume from 1 metre away, and you can see in this table that the majority reached over 60 decibels, with some approaching 80 decibels. It's not my place to give exact advice on safe use though, but my personal view is that it makes sense not to play them too loudly, too close to you or for too long. Try to use the minimal settings to get the effect you need. So with that said, let's take a look at the white noise machines. The Snooz Original is a fantastic choice if you love fan sounds. It has a real fan inside, so it sounds much more authentic than those that use recordings. It's also more compact than a standard fan and won't blow cold air around your room in the winter. I really like how you can fine-tune the tone of the fan sound by turning the side cap. It also has 10 volume settings and surprisingly loud maximum volume. In a recent video, I compared 7 real fan sound machines in depth, and found the Snooz could block a lot of external noise, like birds, traffic and some music. It was actually my equal favourite at the time with the Dome Nova. As well as the buttons on the top, you can use the Snooz app to control it remotely. You can also set daily timers and do a nursery volume calibration, which is a unique feature of the Snooz devices. However, one of my biggest criticisms is that the auto-off timer is only accessible through the app. I think it would be much more user-friendly to have a timer button on the device itself. It's also quite expensive, as you can see in this price comparison table. There are no other white noise or nature sounds, and it comes with a US power adapter even if you buy it in the UK, which is a bit inconvenient. Two alternatives to consider are the Snooz Pro and the Breez. The Snooz Pro is a bit louder, a bit more sleekly designed and comes with a carry case. However, I don't like how you have to lift it up to adjust the tone, and it's more expensive. The Snooz Breez has 2 independent fans inside. One will blow air, while the other just makes a fan sound. It's also the loudest of all of the real fan sound machines. However, it's even more expensive and it's quite large. So unless you specifically want the option to switch between a real fan or just a fan sound, I'd stick with the Snooz Original. The Lectrofan Evo is my top choice if you like the best range of white, pink and brown noise. Rather than playing looped recordings, which most white noise machines do, the Evo dynamically generates the sound. There are 10 white noise options, 10 fan sounds, and 2 ocean surf. The The Evo speaker has better treble and bass than most of the others, and I find the pink and brown noise more relaxing than harsh white noise. It's also very capable of masking external noise, such as traffic, television or music. There are incremental volume controls, and the Evo sounds good at both quiet and louder levels. It's very easy to use with large buttons, and it's great that there are separate buttons for the white noise and fan categories. There's a 3.5mm headphone jack for private listening or using it as a speaker, and there are auto-off timers from 1 to 8 hours. The US version has a power adapter and USB cable, while the international one has adapters for US, UK and EU plugs. My biggest criticisms are that there are no nature sounds other than the ocean surf, which I don't think sound particularly natural. It also needs to be plugged into work and it's not a budget device. A good alternative is a Lectrofan Classic. It's a bit cheaper, very loud and very robust. I actually know a couple of people that have had one of these for years and had no problems with it. You can see in this table that it was the loudest device when I measured all 20 from 1 metre away, hitting 79.9 dBA compared to 73.4 dBA for the Evo. It doesn't have the ocean surf sounds, but similar white noise and fan sounds. Personally, I prefer the sounds and features of the Evo, and also believe they made some improvements over time, with the sounds fading in better when you scan through them all. However, I can understand the appeal of the Lectrofan Classic's price and volume levels, so really they're both great choices. The Yogasleep Duet is my top choice of the premium sound machines for kids. With its lullabies and gentle nightlight, it's clearly designed with the little ones in mind. There are 30 sounds to choose from, including deep pink and brown noise. There are some realistic fan sounds, and there's a wide range of nature tracks and music. The rain track sounds authentic, and the speaker has enough bass to handle a thunderstorm. I was very impressed by the loop length and stitching. I timed the birds at 1 minute 55. As you can see in this table, that's the longest the bird loop's got. Interestingly, 4 machines seem to use the same bird track, which is why they all clock in at 1 minute 55. I also timed some of the music tracks at over 5 minutes, which is unusually long for a white noise machine. The Duet has a good volume range, and was the 4th loudest maximum volume at 77.1 dBA. It did a great job masking noise like TV and traffic. It has a useful Bluetooth speaker mode so parents can stream their own songs or stories. There are 3 auto-off timers of 45 and 90 minutes or 8 hours, and like most of the machines, it can run all night if needed. A very helpful feature is the soft amber glow nightlight. It was the second brightest of those with a nightlight, but it's dimmable and bright enough for some reassurance. The main downside is that it needs to stay plugged in and only comes with a USB cable. It's quite slow to adjust the nightlight brightness, and honestly I think the maximum volume is probably too high for a device made for little ones. A good alternative is the Yogasleep Dream Center, which I'll cover in full in part 9. The speaker isn't quite as clear as the Duets, but it has a multicoloured nightlight and is cheaper, so I think both of these are good options for kids. The Momcozy was my top pick of the portable sound machines for parents. This was actually the hardest category for me to judge, because when they cram extra features into a small device like this, the speaker quality often takes a hit, so it's kind of a case of choosing the most useful one rather than the best sounding. There are 21 soundtracks with 9 nature sounds, 6 white noise and fan sounds, and 6 music and baby tracks. While the variety is great, I was very unimpressed by the short loops. You don't notice them with the white noise, but the birds repeat every 7 seconds. That was the shortest loop I timed, and I really don't think there's any excuse for that. Young kids might not notice, but adults probably will. As for the volume, I measured the maximum at 68.8 decibels, which might be too much for kids. However, it's great that it has a child lock, so you can keep the volume set to a lower level. It also functions as a Bluetooth speaker, which is great, so parents can play additional music or songs. There's a dimmable nightlight, which was the brightest overall, so it's very useful if you need more visibility in a bedroom. There are auto-off timers of 1, 3 or 6 hours. It comes with a USB cable, but you can use it with the internal rechargeable battery if you prefer. Momcozy says the battery will last for 10 hours on max volume and brightness, and in my own test at 1/3 volume with white noise but no light on, it lasted for over 16 hours. The main downsides, other than the short loops, are that you can't turn the nightlight on independently from the sounds. And there's just one button to cycle through all 21 tracks. One alternative is the Dreamegg D11 Max. This one has much longer loops, such as the birds, which are almost 2 minutes long. However, it doesn't have a nightlight and the sounds are less clear at lower volume levels, but it's also very portable and even cheaper. On balance then, while the Momcozy isn't perfect, I still think it's a very useful portable sound machine for parents. Next up is my top portable pick for adults. They could work for kids too, but there are no music tracks or lullabies. The choice was between the Lectrofan Micro 2, Yogasleep Travel Mini and the Babaleo. All three are very small and have an internal rechargeable battery, so they're great for travel. My personal favourite was the Lectrofan Micro 2. Even though these ones are louder, if that's what you're after, the Micro 2 sounds clearer at both lower and higher volume levels, and it still blocks out external noise very effectively. It has 4 white noise sounds, 5 fan sounds, and 2 ocean surf like the larger Lectrofan Evo. Another reason I picked the Micro 2 is that it has a Bluetooth speaker function, and music sounds surprisingly good for such a tiny device. In terms of battery life, it was the best performer out of the three. When I played white noise at 1/3 volume, the Micro 2 lasted around 38 to 39 hours, the Babaleo 33 to 34 hours, and the Travel Mini 21 to 22 hours. It fully charges in about 2.5 hours, and like the others it comes with a USB cable but no wall adapter. The main downsides are that there are no auto-off timers, no nature sounds other than the ocean surf, and the buttons are quite fiddly to use. As for the alternatives, the Travel Mini is a good option if you want a nightlight or soft fan sounds. The Babaleo has 15 sounds including rain, stream and ocean. It's also louder than the other two, so it's worth considering if you want nature sounds without lullabies. Both the Travel Mini and Babaleo are cheaper, so if you're on a tight budget they might be worth considering, but for me, the Lectrofan Micro 2 has the edge. The Yogasleep Dome Nova has a real fan inside rather than using recordings, and it's very easy to use. Unlike the Snooz devices, you don't need an app to access any of the features. It's great that you can adjust the tone of the fan sound by twisting the side. There are also 10 volume levels, and the large buttons on the top make it very user-friendly. I measured the maximum volume at 63.9 decibels, so it was one of the quietest white noise machines. However, I still found the rich sound does a good job of masking external noise like traffic, TV and birds. After listening to it very closely in the last month, the main reason I now prefer the Snooz is that the Dome Nova's motor noise is more noticeable. However, the Dome Nova does have a few tricks up its sleeve compared to the Snooz. Firstly, there are convenient physical buttons for the auto-off timers, with options for 45 and 90 minutes or 8 hours. It also has a dimmable amber nightlight, which is very rare for white noise machines with real fans inside. And finally, it's less expensive than the Snooz, especially if you're in the UK. The main downside, other than the motor noise, is that it's quite bulky, and like all of the ones with real fans, it needs to stay plugged in and there are no other sounds. One alternative to consider is the Dome Uno, but it doesn't have volume controls or auto-off timers. It was also the quietest white noise machine overall at just 54.7 decibels. So if you do want a plug-and-play white noise machine with a real fan inside that's very easy to use, the Dome Nova would be my top choice. The Dreamegg D3 Pro is my top pick of the rechargeable white noise machines. It's an excellent all-rounder, reasonably priced and with a fantastic selection of 29 sounds. It has relaxing deep pink and brown noise tracks, nature sounds with long loops, and comforting sounds for kids such as shushing and lullabies. I like how it has 3 category buttons, so it's easier to find the sound you want, and the speaker sounds clear with decent bass for a white noise machine. It was the third loudest in my tests, reaching 77.4 decibels. You shouldn't need that volume level though, as it's very effective at masking annoying noise. It takes 2 hours to charge, and in my battery test it lasted 40 to 41 hours playing white noise at 1/3 volume. 2 other machines lasted a bit longer, but the combination of battery life and speaker quality makes the D3 Pro better overall. It's also very durable. I've had this one for 3 years and it's still going strong. There are auto-off timers of 30, 60 or 90 minutes. A longer option would be useful, but at least it has timers. There's also a headphone jack so you can listen in private. My main criticism is that a couple of nature sounds have a soft white noise layer in the background, which is frustratingly common with white noise machines. Also, it was listed as coming with a power adapter, but mine only came with a USB cable and I had to request one separately. Aside from the rechargeable machines, there are a couple that allow you to use normal batteries, such as the Homedix Rejuvenate here, which runs on 4 AA's. However, the speaker quality and the loops range from bad to terrible. So unless you have a need for one that runs with normal batteries, I recommend sticking with those with an internal rechargeable battery if you want a battery-powered one, such as the D3 Pro here. The Yogasleep is the best low-cost white noise machine for adults I've found. Last time I checked, it was just under £25 in the UK, or $30 in the US for example, and that puts it at the lower end of the price range. It's good value for money, with some useful features squeezed in and an excellent range of 25 sounds. There are 8 white noise and fan sounds, 12 nature and ambient sounds including 3 rain, and 5 music tracks, none of which are obviously just for kids. I timed the Singing Birds loop at 48 seconds, which isn't too bad, and the music tracks last for 1 to 4 minutes each, which is longer than typical. The maximum volume was in the middle of the pack, reaching 72.3 decibels, and I found it is capable of masking external noise quite well. It has a useful soft amber nightlight with 3 brightness settings. You can play it all night or set timers of 1, 2, 3 or 4 hours, which seem like good lengths to me, and it's very small and lightweight. My main criticism is that the speaker lacks bass and doesn't sound as crisp as the higher end machines, which is a common trade-off with the lower price. It also needs to be plugged in to work, but only comes with a USB power cable, so you'll need to provide your own wall adapter or USB outlet. The main alternative I considered for this category was the Magic Team. This one has 15 more sounds, so there's 40 in total. The Magic Team doesn't have a nightlight though, and the speaker isn't as good as the Yogasleeps. So if you're on a tight budget and you're looking for a white noise machine for yourself rather than a kid, the Yogasleep is my top choice. However, if you're looking for an even more portable one, take a look at section 5 if you skipped it. There are several white noise machines with nightlights, but if you want more choice of colours, the Yogasleep Dream Center is a great choice. It's not as bright as the Momcozy or Yogasleep Duet, but it has a rainbow of colours to choose from, while those only have amber. If you hold the light button down, you can cycle through all the colours. So you could have a soft orange, red or blue glow in the bedroom, for example. There's a good range of 26 sounds to choose from. There are 9 white noise and fan sounds, 7 nature sounds, and 10 music and baby sounds. The speaker quality is pretty good, with more bass than many other white noise machines. Even the thunderclaps sound full and don't distort. As for the loops, I timed the Bird's loop at 1 minute 55, which is a good length. You also get auto-off timers of 45 and 90 minutes, or 8 hours, and you can also run it continuously. And there's a useful headphone jack so you can listen in peace without disturbing anyone else. My main criticism is that it needs to be plugged in to play, but it came with quite a short USB cable and no power adapter. Cycling through the colours is slow since you have to hold the button down, and it's louder than I think is necessary for a child-focused sound machine, hitting 75.2 decibels in my test. The only other machine I tested with a multicoloured nightlight was the Hot Moon. This one actually had surprisingly good speaker quality for the price, and a huge range of 40 sounds. Like the Momcozy, you can't turn the Hot Moon's light on without the sound though, which is the main reason I prefer the Dream Center. And finally, if you're an adult wanting a device with a nightlight but without kiddie songs, check out the Yogasleep Travel Mini, the Dome Nova or the Yogasleep. If you find rain or running water relaxing, the Sound Plus Sleep Aquarius is an interesting choice. When it first came out, I had high hopes because it only has water-themed tracks. However, a couple of the tracks disappointed me. There are 6 main sound categories. Each category has 2 richness settings, which either change or add extra sounds, making 18 variations in total. The speaker is much better than average for a white noise machine. Even though it's not so loud, reaching 65.2 decibels, it sounds clear and has decent bass. The rain and brook sounds are really good, and the loops were impossible to time. My biggest criticism is with the waterfall track. In 2 of the 3 variations, every couple of minutes you hear someone talking, I assume it's the recording crew, saying the words "making a splash." For me, this is a quality control fail, and I just really don't understand how nobody caught it. Where the Aquarius does shine though is with the extra features. There are useful auto-off timers of 1, 2 and 3 hours or continuous play. As well as having a 3.5mm jack for headphones, you can also connect to Bluetooth headphones, and you can even use it as a Bluetooth speaker. It came with a USB cable and 3 international wall adapters, but it also has an internal rechargeable battery that lasted for over 42 hours in my test. Other criticisms are around the sounds. I didn't like the whales much, and there's an annoying bee in the meadow. And it's also quite expensive at just under $100 or pounds. 2 cheaper alternatives are the Yogasleep, which has 9 water-themed tracks, and the Magic Team, which has 15 water theme tracks. The Yogasleep Dream Center and Duet, and also the Dreamegg D3 Pro, also have good running water and rain tracks, as long as you don't mind having lullabies too. Now, if you're not sure about getting a white noise machine, you may already have a way to play white noise, fan sounds or nature sounds in your home. Obvious solutions are to use a real fan, or tune a television or radio to static. But one of the best ways is just to use a Bluetooth speaker, and that way you can get the highest quality Bluetooth speaker and sound that you want. You can then stream from Spotify or YouTube, for example. However, if you don't pay for a premium plan, you might get ads in the middle of the night, so download could be a better option. You could also download an app. There are loads available on the Google Play and Apple App Store. Some are completely free, just with visual ads, and some let you mix different sounds, which is fantastic. Others offer a free trial or require a subscription to access all the features. I recommend trying out a few and hunting for the best free or affordable ones. If you have a smart speaker, you can ask that to play nature sounds, white noise or fan sounds, and also set a timer. Alexa, play rain sounds for 2 hours. Now I'd love to know your thoughts on the white noise machines I've covered in this video. Which ones did you like or not like so much? And if you have any questions, drop them in the comments below. It's always good to hear from you. And please also subscribe to my YouTube channel if you haven't done already. And finally, a few people have asked me over the years if I've ever had a white noise party and turned them all on at once, so I'll leave you with this. Thanks for watching, sleep well.